Good morning. I hope that you all are doing your studies and completing your work. So, students, today we are here with the same chapter, that is chapter number 8, part 3rd. The name of this chapter is Cell Structure and Function. As previously I have told you about the certain topics that we have already covered in this chapter. We have studied about the cell. We have studied about that the function of the cell. Now today we have already studied that how the discovery of the cell is possible and about the discovery of the cell and who discovered the cell. Now today in this part 3rd, that in this part we are going to discuss about some other topics, and the topics that we are going to study today are, the first one is what? Cell theory. So today we are going to discuss about the cell theory. So let's know about that. What is cell theory and who proposed this theory? Now just look at here. This is about the cell theory. So in 1838 there are two German scientists. The name of that scientist was Matthias Kleiden and Theodor Schwann, that proposed a theory, and that theory is known as cell theory. And there are certain main points of this theory. The main points are as follows, in which the first point is all the organisms are made up of one or more cells. Hence, all the living organisms are made up of one cells or more than one cells. So, we also divide the organism into two groups on the basis of the number of cells. The first category is of unicellular organism whose body is made up of one cell, and the second category is of multicellular organism whose body is made up of many cells. So this is about the first point of this theory. The second point is the cells arise from the pre-existing cells. From where these cells arises? These cells arises from the cells which are previously existing from the cell division. The third point of this theory is that the way that organism function is mainly depends on the working of the cells. So the way that organism function, it mainly depends upon the working of the cell. How these cells works, this defines that the way how the organism functions. So this is the third point of this theory. Now let's talk about the certain things. Now just look at here. This is the cell theory timeline, and here the pictures of the some scientists is given here. As I have already told you about that, in 1665 Robert Hooke discovered the cell and discovered the living units and named it what? Cells. And I have told you about that Robert Brown, Scottish naturalist, noticed that each cell had a dark spot inside it, and he named it what? He named that is dark spot. The name of that dark spot that is given by the Robert Brown is what? Nucleus. So this is about the scientist. These are about the certain scientist that plays important role in the discovery of certain things. Now let's more about this. Now here also the cell theory timeline is given here, and the pictures of the certain scientists is given here, and their contribution is given. So look at this. Now here also the cell theory timeline is given to you, and here there is a scientist. The name of that scientist is Theodor Schwann, that came to the conclusion about the animal cell. And there is a scientist in 1838. The name of that is Matthias. He is a German botanist, Matthias Jakob Kleiden, German botanist, that proposed that all the plants are composed of cells. So this is about the certain scientists and their different roles. Now, as we have already discussed about the structure of the cell, and in second part I have told you that the cell is mainly consists of three parts. The three parts are cell membrane, nucleus and cytoplasm. So these are the three main parts of the cell. Now today we are going to discuss about the certain things that is present inside the cytoplasm of the cell, and the things that is present inside the cytoplasm of the cell is known as cell organelles. So today in this part we are going to discuss about the different types of cell organelles which is present in the cytoplasm of the cell. So here all the activities inside the cell and the interaction of the cell with its environment is mainly possible due to the presence of these features like plasma membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm, cytosol, cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, lysosome, vacuoles, mitochondria, plastids, centrosome and cytoskeleton. So these are the certain things that is present inside the cytoplasm of the cell that we are going to discuss in this chapter one by one. Now animal cell, as we have studied about, now we are going to study about that what is the difference between the animal cell and plant cell, what are the things that is present in animal cell but that thing that is not present in plant cell. So these are the certain organelles that is present inside the animal cell. There is a picture that is given to you and I have to label the certain part of this animal cell, in which the first one is what? The first part is what? Nucleus. The second one is Golgi bodies. Third one is vesicle. Fourth one is plasma membrane. Fifth one is mitochondria. Sixth one is cytoskeleton. Seventh one is centriole. Eighth one is lysosome. Ninth one is cytoplasm. 10th one is rough endoplasmic reticulum. 11th one is smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and 12th one is what? Nucleus. So these are the label parts of this picture that is given to you. Now similarly, in case of plant cell also there is a picture that is given to you in which you have to label its different parts, in which first part is what? Nucleus. Second part is Golgi bodies. Third part is vesicle. Fourth part is lysosome. Fifth part is plasma membrane. Sixth part is mitochondria. Seventh part is chloroplast. Eighth part is cell wall. Ninth part is vacuole. Tenth part is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. 11th part is rough endoplasmic reticulum, and 12th part is nucleus. So about all these types of organelles we are going to discuss in this chapter one by one. Now the first part that we are going to discuss in this chapter is about the plasma membrane. Now we are going to know about that what is plasma membrane, where it is found, and what is the main function of the plasma membrane. So let's talk about that. What is plasma membrane? Plasma membrane is also known as cell membrane. Plasma membrane is also called the cell membrane. Both the plant cell and the animal cell is enclosed by a thin delicate membrane, and that thin delicate membrane is known as plasma membrane, or we can say cell membrane. So it is a living part of the cell and it is selectively permeable, and it also separates the outside environment of the cell from the inside of the cell. So this is about the cell membrane. Let's know more about that cell membrane and what are its function. As we have told you that each cell is covered by a thin sheet of skin which is called cell membrane or plasma membrane. Cytoplasm and nucleus, where the cytoplasm and nucleus is enclosed. This cytoplasm and nucleus is enclosed within cell membrane. In other words, cell membrane includes the living part of the cell, and that living part of the cell is called protoplasm. Now the cell membrane protects the cell and it also gives the shape to the cell. What is the function of the cell membrane? The function of the cell membrane is that it gives the protection and it also gives the shape to the cell. Cell membrane, when you observe the cell membrane, you will observe that there are certain tiny pores present on its surface, and the cell membrane controls, and due to the presence of this feature, the cell membrane controls the movement of the substances into the cell and out of the cell. So we can say that the dissolved substances such as food, glucose, oxygen can enter into the cell, whereas the waste product such as carbon dioxide can go out of the cell through the pores of the cell membrane. Cell membrane separates the cell from one another. Means, what is the function of the cell membrane? That it separates the one cell from the another cell, as well as also from the surrounding medium. The cell membrane, or we can say the plasma membrane, is the living part of the cell. Today we have known about that what is plasma membrane and what are its main function. Now the next topic is about the cell wall. Now we are going to talk about that what is cell wall, where it is found, and what is the main function of the cell wall. The plant cell means the cell wall is only present in plant cell, but it is absent in animal cell. The plant cell have a thick cell wall around them, means where it is found outside the cell membrane. Cell membrane is present in both. It is present in animal cell also, and it is present in plant cell also. But in case of plant cell, there is an additional covering over the cell membrane, and that additional covering is known as cell wall. So the cell wall is made up of tough material, and that tough material is mainly called cellulose. Cell wall function is to give the shape and support to the plant cell. Cell wall also holds the plant cell together and gives the plants most of their strength. Most of the strength is provided to the plant cell is due to the presence of this cell wall. Plant need protection because why the cell wall is present only in plant cell, why it is not present in animal cell? Because the plant need more protection. It needs the protection against the high wind, variation in temperature, atmospheric moisture, since the plants are fixed at a place. So the plants are not able to move like that of human beings. So they cannot protect themselves from the various changes in their surroundings. So it needs more protection. So that's why in case of plant cell, the cell wall is formed. The tough cell wall is present in the plant cell that provides the protection to the plant. Their main function is to provide the protection to the plants. So the cell wall is not present in animal cell. It is mainly found in plant cell, and the cell wall is a non-living part of the cell. We have talked that the plasma membrane is the living part of the cell, while the cell wall is the non-living part of the cell, and it is made up of tough material, and that tough material is called cellulose. Now let's talk about the other things about the nucleus. Now we are going to know about that what is nucleus, where it is found, and what are its main function. So let's talk about the nucleus. Nucleus is present in both in plant cell as well as in animal cell. But in case of animal cell, the nucleus is present at the center, while in case of plant cell, it is found at the periphery. Periphery means near the edge of the cell. So this nucleus is also known as the brain of the cell because it controls all the activities of the cell. Means whatever the activities that takes place in the cytoplasm of the cell is controlled by the nucleus. So it is also called the brain of the cell. So when there is a picture given here also, look at this picture. Now by looking this picture, we just come to the conclusion that it is a large spherical organelle present in all the cells. Nucleus is present in all the cells, and what are its shape? It is a large spherical organelle. In animal cells, the nucleus lies at the center, whereas plant cell, the nucleus may be on the periphery of the cell. Nucleus is the largest organelle in a cell. Which is the largest organelle in a cell? Nucleus is the largest organelle in a cell. Nucleus, it can also be stained with a dye and can easily be observed with the help of microscope. Nucleus is separated from the cytoplasm by a membrane. Now the question arises that how this nucleus is, because it is present at the cytoplasm of the cells, then how it gets separated from the cytoplasm of the cell? It gets separated from the cytoplasm of the cell is mainly due to the presence of a membrane, and the membrane that covers the nucleus is known as nuclear membrane. That nucleus controls all the activities of the cell. We are knowing well the transmission of the characteristics from the parents to the offspring, The transfer of the characteristics from the parents to the offspring is commonly known as inheritance, and this nucleus plays important role in inheritance. So this can be explained as follows. Nucleus contain thread-like structure. This is possible mainly due to the presence of thread-like structure in its body, and that thread-like structure is known as chromosomes. Chromosome can only be seen when the cell divides. Chromosome, what this chromosome contains. So this thread-like structure is known as chromosome. So what this chromosome contains? This chromosome contains genes, and that genes are the unit of inheritance. Means that genes control the transfer of characteristics from the parent to the offspring. So that's why it is known as unit of inheritance. The function of the chromosome is what? Is to transfer the characteristics from the parents to the offspring through the genes. So how it is possible? How the transfer of the characteristic from the parents to the offspring is possible? That is possible mainly due to the presence of genes on the chromosome. How it gets transferred from the parents to the offspring? Through the genes. So the genes is also known as the unit of inheritance. Nucleus also contains a tiny round structure. The tiny round structure that is present inside the nucleus is known as nucleus. About the nucleus, you are going to study about the nucleus in your higher classes, but just know that there is a tiny round structure that is present inside the nucleus, and that is commonly known as nucleus. Nucleus containing chromosome and nucleus is bounded by a membrane, and that membrane is known as nuclear membrane. So we just know that nucleus contains what? That nucleus contains chromosome, and nucleus is a tiny round structure that is present inside the nucleus, and both of these two are bounded by a membrane, and that membrane is known as nuclear membrane. So what is the function of the nuclear membrane, and what this nuclear membrane contains? That nuclear membrane also contains tiny pores. That tiny pores that is present on the surface of the nuclear membrane is known as nuclear pore. And the function of the nuclear pore is that it helps in the exchange of materials with the cytoplasm. There is an exchange of materials with the cytoplasm and with the nucleus also occurs. And how it gets possible? It gets possible mainly due to the presence of the nuclear pore on the surface of the nuclear membrane. Now, most of the cell have the nucleus, but there is one cell that do not have nucleus. The name of that cell is red blood cell. So the red blood cells do not contain nucleus. Now we are going to talk more about that nucleus. Here, gene, I have told you that gene is a unit of inheritance in a living organism. It is a unit of inheritance because it transfers the characteristics from the parent to the offspring. During reproduction, there is a transfer of character from the parent to the offspring during the reproduction, and it determines some characteristic feature of the offspring. Now we are going to know about that the function of the gene. The gene control the transfer of hereditary characters from the parents to the offsprings. This means that our parents pass some of their characteristic feature to us. There is some characteristic feature to us that is passed from our parents to our body through the genes. It is the gene inherited or we can say received. Inherited means received from our parents, which are responsible for various body features. In other words, we can say that it is a gene on the chromosome which decide all the sorts of things about us, say the color of our eyes, the look of our hair, the shape of our nose, our complexion, our appearance. For example, just I am going to give you one example. Our father has brown eyes. We also may have brown eyes due to the gene of the brown eye color coming from him. Second example is of if our mother has curly hair, then we may also inherit the curly hair through the gene coming from her. However, usually the different combination of genes, both the parents, father and mother, result in different characteristics in the offspring. So these are the function of the genes that is linearly arranged on the surface of the chromosomes. So where the chromosome is present in nucleus. These are the thread-like structure, and on the surface of the chromosomes the genes are linearly arranged, which are the unit of inheritance, and I have told you why the genes are known as the unit of inheritance. So this is about the nucleus that I have told you. Now there is another topic that picture is also given here, and this is another type of organelle, and this organelle is commonly known as Golgi bodies. Now we are going to know about that. What are Golgi bodies, where it is found, and what is the function of the Golgi bodies. So firstly, we just know about that, who discovered it, who first time identified it. Golgi bodies was identified in 1897 by Italian physician. The name of that physician was Camillo Golgi, and named after him in 1898. In plant cell, Golgi bodies are smaller, unconnected, and more in number, and usually called dictyosomes. In plant cell, they are commonly known as dictyosomes. Golgi bodies are the stacks of the flat membranous sacs. Just look at the diagram here. These are the flat membranous sacs, sac-like structure, usually found near the nucleus. Where it is found? It is found usually near the nucleus in most of the animal cell, and they are bounded by a double membrane. And these Golgi bodies are bounded by a double membrane. The main component of the Golgi bodies are cisternae and vesicles. Cisternae are stacked one over the other, and vesicles are bounded. Cisternae are what? Cisternae are stacked one over the other. Just look at the diagram here. The diagram of the cisternae and vesicle is given to you. The cisternae are stacked one over the other, while the vesicles are budded outgrowth of the cisternae. Look at this diagram. There is a budded outgrowth of the cisternae, and that is known as vesicles. Now we are going to know about the function of the Golgi bodies. Golgi bodies are the secretory cell organelles. It is commonly known as secretory cell organelles because its main function is to secrete the proteins, hormones, chemicals, and enzymes. So these are the main function of the Golgi bodies. So I have told you about the Golgi bodies. Like that, some other organelles is also present in the cells that we are going to discuss about all these organelles later on in this